What's going on, my exotic family? It's your boy Dre. Welcome back to another video. Hope everybody's having a great day. In today's video, I'm actually bringing you my top 3 most challenging reptiles. Stay tuned. Alright everybody, so welcome back to the video. Now like I stated, I'm bringing you my top 3 most challenging reptiles here in my collection. I'm not bringing any reptiles out today simply because number 1, snakes just ate a couple of days ago, and number 2, everyone's lights just came on. It is 8 in the morning and I'm actually recording this video before I log into work. However, for these top 3 reptiles, I will go ahead and post a picture of each reptile right here so you guys can identify which reptile I'm talking about, and we're going to jump right into it. Number 3 most top challenging reptile that I keep is going to be my ball python, M'Baku. Now again, I did a video on why I don't like ball pythons, and people think that I just have this vendetta against ball pythons, which to me doesn't make sense. If I truly didn't like them that much, then I would not have one. However, my gripe with ball pythons is the simple fact that they can be almost impossible to get to eat on a regular basis. My particular specimen, M'Baku, he'll eat on schedule and then he'll stop for a couple months, and it is just a hassle to deal with when you want all of your snakes to just eat, or if you're trying to do a feeding video and everything, it just kind of messes things up for you. So it just kind of really puts a damper on your flow when you're really trying to get that done. So that's probably number 3 most challenging for that reason. So number 2, I'm actually going to group these two guys together. It's going to be green tree python, emerald tree boa. Now I know these snakes are 2 different species, although their care is pretty similar. But when it comes to keeping them in a reptile collection, they're very challenging because you have to get their parameters pretty spot on in order to keep them healthy. Now with my 2 animals, I don't necessarily have a problem with keeping them together and eating and their humidity up and everything. However, there are moments where both of them will refuse food, and I then have to get in their enclosures and check to make sure everything is right. But with them being arboreal snakes, that does happen. So it's just another thing where I have to kind of keep an eye on it with them being arboreal snakes, because they can be somewhat fragile. They have more of an attitude, yet they're more fragile, so you definitely have to keep your eye on it, especially since mine stay in glass enclosures. The humidity can jump around. Now I don't have that issue now because I have made some modifications to help with the humidity. So to kind of negate them eating, what I do now is I feed them only at night, and I don't have an issue. Now another challenge that I have with green tree pythons and emerald tree boas is their specialized care. As far as them being an arboreal snake, and a lot of the times with me here personally, I like to give my snakes a lot of variety and try to replicate as much as I can that they'll experience in the wild. So that means feeding them birds sometimes, giving them more elevation, giving them more horizontal room to move, and sometimes that can be a challenge depending on who you are, where you live, and how much space you have. So again, great snakes, but just like any other reptile, they do come with a couple of challenges. And my number 1 most challenging reptile to keep, you guys have guessed it, yes, it is my smooth front caiman, Gizmo. Gizmo, to say the least, is Gizmo. So no, really, Gizmo is they're challenging just because of their sheer natural nature. Most reptiles come in and they come in defensive, and the level of defensiveness that these guys can come in is crazy. However, this is something that I knew prior to getting this animal, so these aren't more so complaints. However, I've had a lot of people asking me about my caiman and asking where they can get one, and I know some of these people aren't quite experienced for that animal. Not that that's my decision, however, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. Now I don't show Gizmo off a lot on my YouTube channel because I spend a lot of time handling him or her and trying to habituate him to myself and just to the environment, and it's going pretty well. But again, I don't always want to show that aggressive or defensive side of my animals because it makes people think that that's always the case, and to be honest, it's not. You have to really understand your animal's behavior to get to a certain level of understanding for them not to bite you, for them to trust you, and for them to obviously be comfortable with you all together. So I guess my biggest challenge with Gizmo is gonna be when he's full grown. These guys require huge enclosures, and I mean 10 foot of water, 10 foot by 8 foot just of water, and then they still need a land area. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. But again, like I've explained in other videos, that is something that I know I'm ready for. Me personally, when I get an animal, first question that pops in my mind is, can I afford this animal in the future? Meaning, can I support this animal as an adult? And that is definitely something that we all should be thinking of when we get a reptile. Even if it's the smallest gecko, these animals deserve the best of care. So we have to make sure that we're giving them that. Also, another thing with the caiman, just like the first two reptiles first two snakes we looked at, these guys have a specialized diet. So the juveniles are going to be somewhat picky. They're only going to want specific things. They're more so insectivores, piscivores, and then as they grow older, they're going to want that more whole prey, and you know, you can give them raw meat and things like that. So as babies, obviously they're going to be a little shyer, and you have to actually get them habituated to eating in front of you or with you constantly. And for me, that was the biggest hassle, but now we're actually doing a lot better. He eats a lot more for me, so I'm grateful for that. But once again, that was definitely a challenge. Now, with that being said, these challenges are not meant to be taken as complaints. This is me coming to you guys as a reptile keeper with experience with all three of these animals, or four in that case, with all four of these animals, and just wanted to kind of give my feedback as the challenging things that you deal with when dealing with advanced reptiles, so you know what you're getting yourself into in case you might want to get yourself a specific reptile that I mentioned on this list yourself. So keep in mind, definitely do your research. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of the video. What are your top 3 most challenging reptiles that you've ever dealt with or in your collection? Hit the subscribe button, turn those post notifications on so you don't miss any uploads. I upload every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, stay exotic.